Hello everybody and welcome back to Analog Vernacular. Today we're going to be playing some more Fire Emblem Three Houses. We're still in chapter 14. So, what is this one called? A King Without a Kingdom. So, I'm kind of guessing we might be running into Dimitri. Because that doesn't feel like... That feels like that title fits Dimitri more than anybody else. So, basically all we know at this point is he might be dead. Because he was sentenced to death, but we know from the Blue Lion's route that when he was sentenced to death, the kingdom said he was dead, even though Dedu actually saved him and then was imprisoned himself. So, if that's also what happened in this route, then he's still alive, so we might still get to see him. And that's highly likely, I think, especially after seeing that title. It couldn't really be talking about Claude, because Claude kind of is the leader of his domain still, or at least giving the appearance that he is still in control. So, yeah. Okay, we got some more instructions that we can do. Yeah, let's go ahead and help you get to your Gremory. Even though you're our dancer, and most likely will remain the dancer for the most part. We could put her in Gremory for a while if we really wanted to, but she's so damn useful. Like, she's got everything. She's got healing, she's got offensive magic, she's got dancing, and she's got rallying. Like, the girl is super freaking useful. It's unbelievable. Alright, help you get to where you need to go. We might be able to do some certifications. I know we can try Caspar again. Okay, Lysithea, yes, you definitely need some help. Yeah, I think we're taking you in a different direction this time. I think I'm making you I'm assuming a Dark Knight, which that'll be fun. We'll see how that works out, but she needs some work. We're gonna have to help her get her spear up to C. That shouldn't be too hard on New Game Plus, so yeah, that won't be too difficult, even though that's a weakness of hers. The horse is going to take some work, and now that I remember that I'm doing that, I should probably put her in group tasks. So let's see. Yeah, let's do Linhardt and her, Lysithea. Yeah. That'll be fun. That'll be fun having her be a Dark Knight. Okay, your spear is good. I should probably have you switch to just working on flying for a while.
Nope.
So let's change her goal. So for the next little bit, she's just going to work on flying. Okay, 3 more. Aloys and Shamir are the only ones in main party right now that we can work on. So you need to work on your fists mostly. Okay. You're good there. Let's go ahead and get that to its next rank since it's so close. May as well. And then we'll help you with horseback. Her goal should probably change to just horseback for a hot minute, just so that we can get her rank up, ready as soon as possible, and then we'll go back to her bow, so that we can work on the S ranks.
Growth
Thunder. Okay.
Professor.
You're not going to be used, unfortunately, Cyril. Don't worry, I'm going to try and give you your chance in Golden Deer. I really do want to use Cyril in a main party in one of my runs.
Let's see this through.
This won't be difficult if we...
There. It's over.
Now is the time to master this.
It's for us to.
This'll be useful.
I'll make good use of...
Working on his holy night.
Thank you so much.
Okay. You know, I need to sell some of my
Thanks.
battalions.
I'm glad I asked you.
Over the course of all of our run-throughs, we're gonna have so many like battalions that we haven't even touched that are just like subpar. Like there's a bunch of bronze ones probably, but I probably won't worry about doing that until we get into Golden Deer and really like optimize our battalion stuff for yeah, because we're gonna. I don't want to make a mistake selling a bunch right now that I might need while we're doing our maddening Golden Deer run. You know what I mean? Not knowing what I'm getting into quite. Okay, we got a bunch here. So Linhart and Dorothea, they're going to finish up theirs. Very nice.
Ah, here you are.
Oddly enough, these two got pairing in my last route. I want to see if I can maybe try to guide our pairings down different routes. I think it'd be fun to see Lynn and Bernie's, you know, since he's such a smooth operator with with Bernie at the end there.
What's up, Lynn? Come to invite me to dinner?
Well, that too. But first, there is something I wish to say. I believe I previously implied that it's okay to live out your days by running away from what troubles you. And I think that I was unkind to you.
What are you talking about?
To be honest, while I try to be easygoing, I currently feel a bit uneasy about something. One of the effects of running away constantly is that eventually one runs out of places to, well, run. Because I avoid memories I find unpleasant, the number of things I avoid is forever increasing. I've never learned to deal with the pain of my past, so I can never increase my tolerance toward new pains.
And?
That's all. But there are some nights where it really worries me.
That's what you wanted to say? It'd be the same if you weren't avoiding things. You'd just be up at night wondering what was coming next. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate you showing me a glimpse of your real self for the first time.
For the first time? Each time I speak, I show my real self.
So, what about that conversation we had?
Which conversation?
When you said I was a great woman, was that true?
Hell yeah, it was.
Of course. You have too low an opinion of yourself.
I thought you were just trying to make me feel better. I didn't really think you looked at me that way, Lynn.
Why? Is it so strange? You seemed rather happy about it at the time.
It's not weird. Okay, it's kind of weird. You're weird, Lynn. You know, I'm hungry all of a sudden. Maybe I laughed too much.
Good. I was going to invite you to dinner.
He is so smooth.
You were?
When I walked in, you asked if I'd come to invite you to dinner. I said yes. But I can't be bothered to walk into town. Shall we visit the dining hall?
What? Oh, fine. Show me this easygoing way of yours.
Man, I want to be more like Lynn. Caspar and Catherine.
Not this time.
These two together will be fun.
Too slow.
You're mine now!
Not quite.
Ah! Why can't I do it?
What's wrong, Caspar? Worn out already?
Was he missing from the scene? Did he not load in? Oh, he's on the ground. Okay. I was like, I didn't see anybody. Where is he? You can see him down in the bottom. Can you look at him? Poor guy.
You said you wanted to keep going until you managed to hit me.
Oh, I'm gonna hit you. Just let me catch my breath. Losing to you over and over again is exhausting.
That's because you rely on sheer power. You're moving around more than you have to, and it's a waste of energy. You need to start using your head, or you'll never even land a blow.
Well, you were taking some pretty big swings yourself, you know.
I have more experience than you. I can use my energy more efficiently.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You are the famous Thunder Catherine, after all. Wait, I just realized something. I get to train with the legendary wielder of Thunderbrand.
Why is that just occurring to you?
I guess it didn't really sink in until now. I'm training with someone I've always looked up to. You're a legend. Everyone knew about the power of Thunderbrand, even in the Empire.
Stop. I'm not nearly that impressive.
But you are. When I was younger, my friends and I would fight over who got to pretend to use Thunderbrand whenever we would play.
If they actually saw me fighting, I doubt that game would be very popular. I will cut down anyone, even a child, for the sake of my mission.
Whoa. Catherine. I mean, I guess in this instance, she is referring to, like... Because, think about it. Like... She has had to face quote-unquote children, teenagers, pre-time skip. I don't think she means like a small child. I think she's referring more to the teenagers amongst the school students that may have gotten in her way. That's a little harsh there, Catherine.
On the battlefield, there is no Thunder Catherine. Only a bloodied soldier crawling in the mud, hacking desperately at her enemies.
Sure, but...
I'm not a hero. I fight only for Lady Rhea and the Goddess. What about me is admirable, Is it my deeds? Or my blade?
If there is one flaw of hers, that's it. Like, it's hard to agree with somebody who... And I say this knowing how hypocritical it sounds, because of how much I like Daedu, but, you know, it is a character flaw, right? With Daedu and her, that they are willing to do literally anything, her for Rhea, him for Dimitri, without thinking about, you know, the moral implications. Both of them have that character trait, and it is a flaw. But I don't dislike either of them necessarily for it. I'm just pointing out that it is a flaw. Major flaw. Like, I mean, you saw it in the last route, really, when she is told to burn the city, burn the kingdom capital, and she doesn't like it necessarily, but she does do it, so... Caspar's like, damn, this girl's hardcore. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Bernie and Seth. Yeah, let's get more Seth in here, man.
Oh, is that Seth? Wow, he looks really deep in thought. I wonder what he's writing. A secret diary, maybe?
That phrase doesn't quite work, does it? Let's see about an alternative.
It's probably a fanfic.
Too uncertain for a diary. Maybe it's a letter. Or a poem.
No, that's bound to introduce misunderstanding. Precision is the key.
It must be really important if he's putting that much thought into every word.
Don't we actually know that he writes fiction? Didn't we find like a lost item for him that is... Maybe I'm misremembering now. Let's just keep going.
But I mustn't overcomplicate things either. Parting words ought to be precise.
Parting? It's a farewell letter? Is he writing his resignation? Seth can be a little scary sometimes, but I hope he doesn't leave. It'd be sad to see him go. He shouldn't make such rash decisions. If he's unhappy about something, he should tell someone.
Come now. Do you really think I would resign?
You heard all that?
You're not exactly whispering, Bernie.
If you don't wish to be heard talking to yourself, then you should not speak so loudly. I'm sorry to hear that you find me intimidating.
I'm sorry!
It's alright, Sedith. Don't take it personally. She finds most people intimidating. Except Aloise, apparently. Because he's just a big old soft bear, I guess.
I won't disturb you ever again!
Wait, Bernadetta! Ah, typical behavior for the girl. Most concerning. Can she really go through life this way?
Not easily. Every day's a struggle for poor Bernie. Petra and Aloise? I don't remember if we've seen this one. Probably
Aloise.
not? Maybe. Most likely not.
Who goes there? Oh,
Whoa.
Petra, it's you. You appeared out of nowhere.
Maybe Aloise and Bernie have a lot more in common. Maybe that's why she's not scared of him.
I have a question to be asking you.
Sure, I don't mind. I'll answer your question.
You are always surrounded by people. When you speak, they smile. I feel envy. I want to know the secret to having a happy conversation.
Ah, you need a lesson on breaking the ice. That's a slippery subject, but I bet we can
my God.
crack it.
This goes over her head, like hardcore.
Now, let's see. Well, the crucial thing is to start conversations. Be proactive about saying hello.
Yeah, puns are hard for people who don't speak the language fluidly and natively. So Aloise, your puns are gonna just not work on poor Petra here.
Ask questions. Also, it might help to stop sneaking up on people.
Start conversations. Stop sneaking. I am understanding. Is there more?
Well, you can always try throwing in a joke to lighten the mood. The trick is to keep trying so you get practice. Put your best foot forward. And try not to put it in your mouth.
What are you saying? Why are you laughing?
Yeah.
Oh, I just made a little joke.
A joke? Can you give me more explanation?
Put your best foot forward. That's an expression people say that means try as hard as you can.
It's not funny when
And
you have to
putting
explain
your
it.
foot in your mouth doesn't really mean what it sounds like. When you put your foot in your mouth, you are saying something rude without meaning to. And so,
Okay, those of you who know the Japanese, what is the context of the Japanese joke? Because this one's based off of English sayings, and I don't know if Japan has the same sort of saying for put your foot in your mouth. Is it different? Is it the same? I want to know.
what am I going on about? There's nothing worse than trying to explain a joke. Petra,
Deadpan.
you've gone awfully quiet. I suppose you've lost faith in me as a conversation tutor.
You are playing with your words. We do such things in
Yep.
Brigid, too. In Fodlan, you have a strange way of playing with a word's meaning. I am admiring of it.
Why are you so good,
admire
Petra?
me? Oh, Petra, no need to say kind things out of pity. You didn't hurt my feelings.
Am I hurting them?
If you were sincerely complimenting me, then no. To think, you just started learning how to chit-chat, and you've already got a silver tongue. You really put your money where your mouth is.
Oh, God.
More laughing. This must be a complex technique for word playing.
It's the arcane arts, Petra. It's the arcane arts. Forbidden magic in the English tongue.
It was so sunny
This
this
one's new,
morning,
too.
but now it's absolutely pouring.
Did you hear the thunder just now? Good thing we got all the clothes indoors before the skies opened up. I apologize for troubling you with this task.
Don't worry about it. I was just passing by and thought I could help. I know how frustrating it is to have your newly dried clothes soaked by rain.
Oh,
What's wrong? We managed to keep all of the clothes dry, didn't we?
it's just odd. Every time it's my turn to wash the clothing, there's a sudden downpour. Surely it must just be an inconvenient coincidence, but I can't help feeling as though I'm somehow to blame for it.
How?
Ah, I see. That probably is your fault.
Wow.
What?
You're even harsher than I am.
You have a crest of Karen, don't you?
Oh, there is an
I
explanation.
do, yes, but hold on a moment. How did you know that?
I can just tell. I have a crest of Karen too.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize that. Does that crest have some kind of power over the weather? Like, this might be the first time we've heard of a crest having power kind of outside of the bounds of battle, kind of the things that we can like look at and see, and it says, you know, hey, it'll increase the power of gambits. Have we heard of any other like crest powers outside of battle in this way?
And I've noticed that whenever I need dry weather, there's rain.
Huh.
Don't you think it's our crests making the rain fall upon us?
How had I never connected this? This is quite a revelation. A crest affecting the weather.
Well, I don't know how true it is. There are only the two of us, which is a pretty small sample of people.
Yeah, I guess it is.
I suppose that's true.
Hard to quantify.
So, we must test our hypothesis.
Interesting.
Maybe we can find someone who tends to bring the sunshine around. That would be especially handy for helping out with the wash.
Now there's an idea.
Not quite the scientific method I was thinking of. Leone and Sedith.
Oh, hello, Sedith.
God, I love getting all these new ones.
Hello, Leone. I imagine you are here to fish.
Yeah, this is a great spot for it. You must be a pretty experienced fisherman, huh?
Actually, while I have enjoyed the hobby for a long while, I must admit I am less than proficient.
Now that you mention it, I can see you're not having much luck today.
It is likely because I am not using any bait.
Well, that explains it. But why bother fishing at all if you're not even trying to catch something?
Truthfully, I fish only so that I might relax. It is soothing to me to cast the line and watch the water ripple. My days are busy, even hectic. It helps to find peace and quiet every so often.
Oh, that makes sense. Still, if you're going to go to all the trouble, you may as well actually bait the line.
Maybe so. But, to my chagrin, I do not even know what type of bait to use. I learned to fish by accompanying my wife. She was
Aw.
always the one to bait the hooks. She would hand me the rod and I would cast my line. I never paid attention to how the rest was done.
Ah, and your wife, where is she
Oh.
now?
She passed away quite some time ago. Since then, I have only to fish on my own.
Did we ever find out how or why she died? I can't remember if that was revealed in the paralogue.
Even so, I find peace out here. Bait or no bait. What about you? Why do you fish?
Me? Just for the fish, actually. For me, it's purely practical. Catch a bite now, one less meal to worry about later. Hunting, fishing, whatever it takes to get by. That's how I've always done it. I'm not exactly starving right now, but back then, if I couldn't catch something, I'd go hungry. So getting the hang of it was pretty vital.
I would certainly say so. I imagine it is intensely satisfying to catch a fish when the need is so great.
Probably, yeah. The need makes it more purposeful. But hey, if you ever want to try fishing for real, I'd be happy to share my bait with you. And if you catch something, I'll cook it up nicely for you. How's that for motivation?
Oh, are you a skilled chef also?
Can't promise it'll be fancy, but it'll taste good.
That's why I like you, Leone.
Wouldn't you know it, I am suddenly overcome with the urge to excel.
Great! Let's get started.
Said it once, I've said it a million times. I don't care what anybody says. I know she's not a fan favorite amongst most people, but I love that girl. Leone and Eloise.
Eloise, I was hoping you could tell me some more stories about Captain Gerald.
You'd like to hear about Gerald's adventures? You seem quite taken with these stories, Leone.
Can't hurt, can it? All our work for the day is done. So remind me, how did you meet him?
Ah, It all feels like ancient history now. You see, the captain was visiting the kingdom of Fargus.
Uh-huh. Go on.
His previous squire had died from a ghastly plague. Then one day, he came upon me and appointed me his new squire.
At that age, you must have had some real talent and courage to stand out as a future knight.
Oh, no, it wasn't that. I was just an orphan boy living in the monastery. I was a timid little thing.
If I remember correctly, the story is that Gerald's previous squire died, and Gerald picked Aloise as his squire because he looked like him, which is just such a weird fucking thing to do.
Really? He didn't choose you for your bravery? What made him choose you then?
Here it comes.
My face looked like the dead boys.
Oh my god.
What? That's it?
What does that say about you, Leonie? He chose to train you too. Maybe you look like the dead boy too. I don't see a resemblance between her and Aloise, so I'm gonna assume that that's not the case. You look a lot better than Aloise, Leonie. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, I asked the captain, and that was the only answer he gave me.
Abrasive to the last. That's Captain Gerald for you.
Yes. In those early days, I would sometimes wonder whether he was right in the head. When I saw him on the battlefield, though, those concerns were laid to rest. Anyway, I think I hear your professor has been looking for you. You'd better scrap.
Oh no, you're right. I'd better go. See you around.
Hey JRPGs, can we stop killing dads for emotional weight and stories? Cause I want to get to know the dads, man. I need more Gerald. Why'd you have to kill him? Catherine and Sedith.
How are you, Catherine? You look well enough.
I think I might have seen this one.
Oh, yes, I'm
Can't
fine.
be certain.
Never better.
That is good. I cannot help but be concerned given your tendency toward incautious behavior. While boldness can be a virtue, I do hope you will bear in mind that recklessness is not. A moment's negligence can lead to a mortal wound for even the most skilled fighter.
You worry too much. If they saw me in action, the wounds themselves would cower.
That is precisely the attitude that worries me, especially given your history. You have been gravely injured before, as you no doubt recall.
Me? Gravely injured? When did that happen?
I'm guessing Lady Rhea helped you? Catherine, have you noticed maybe a slower aging since maybe Rhea helped you? Let's continue. I don't even know if that's what happens.
You mean you have forgotten? It was during your days as a student at the Officers' Academy. There was an excursion, a monster hunt. You charged ahead and left your fellow students behind. You ended up alone and surrounded. You almost died. Do you truly not remember?
Are you sure? All I remember is cutting down monsters left and right.
That is true
One
enough,
track mind.
but you nearly bled to death in the aftermath. The Archbishop was so concerned for your life that she tended your wounds personally.
I think I have seen this one.
That was when that happened. Finally! It all fits together. Lady Rhea looking after me. Now that I remember clearly. That was the first time she ever spoke to me. I was lying on the ground, caked in mud, and she gently picked me up, even stroked my hair. The emotions were so overpowering that they must have just cleared away my memory of the whole incident. So it was during the monster hunt. Thanks, Sedith. That's been bothering me for ages.
That is not quite why I brought it up.
Come to think of it, Lady Rhea hasn't healed me since then.
She probably hasn't had the need. Now, I wonder if it comes with like Here's the thing. This implies that she may have used her blood in the same way that she saved Gerald. And Gerald ended up living an insanely long life because of that, where he didn't age. Catherine might be the same, and she's just not old enough to realize it yet. Which is interesting. But I wonder if it comes with like latent healing properties. You know what I mean? Like maybe like small injuries and stuff heal faster than normal.
We've got to find Lady Rhea, and then maybe someday she'll honor me like that again.
that adds a little bit of a backstory as to why she stands by Rhea so strongly, though. Interesting. I like that.
Hey, Alois. Looks like you're done for the day. Care to join me in the dining hall?
Ah, Catherine. How could I refuse?
Nothing like a good drink. I feel better already. The grub's not bad either. This is the perfect way to end a long day of work.
I couldn't agree more. It feels like a weight's been lifted from my shoulders. It's at times like this, when worldly worries fall away, that I can really live in the moment. It's intoxicating.
Worldly worries, live in the moment. Look who's suddenly waxing poetic. Wait, you feel intoxicated before you've had a drop of booze? Talk about a lightweight.
Hello! Just the man I was looking for.
Ah, yes. Were you the fellow selling ancient coins?
Oh, I have seen this one.
Yes, sir. Since our meeting at the antique shop yesterday, I got my hands on something new. Here we are. Look at this magnificent coin. Do you see the engraving? It's the crest of House Karen, one of the kingdom's most prominent noble families. It's an exceptionally rare piece.
Catherine's
commissioned
crest.
by a hero 1,000 years ago.
By a hero? 1,000 years ago? I'll take it. How much do I owe you?
For a collector such as yourself, sir, I'm happy to offer it at a discounted price. Let's see, that'll be...
Shady
Hold on.
merchant.
Stop trying to swindle my friend.
I mean, anybody with a voice like that is gonna be shady, right? Right? Why do you talk like that, man? You're giving yourself away.
You're claiming a hero from House Karen had their crest engraved on this coin. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Tell me, as a collector of antiques, are you familiar with this piece? It's a legendary sword.
Ma'am, please, keep your nose out of my... What? Is that Thunderbrand? That's not possible. It couldn't be.
You are familiar with it. Excellent. Perhaps you know how cleanly it slices through lyres and sheets. Ah!
Catherine, you are a scary lady. I like it.
You're saying that whole story was a lie?
I thought it was obvious.
I think at this point I've made it pretty clear that I'm into strong women, so yeah. Yep, like Shamir, Catherine, Petra, Dorothea, Ingrid, who else? Like everybody who's on like the tops of my list are all strong women. Alois Shamir.
Mission accomplished. Let's pack up and get out of here.
Yes. Let's.
What's wrong? You don't seem like your usual self.
Oh, I'm still the same old Alois. Come on, let's head back before nightfall.
Don't try to hide it. You're making it obvious.
Shamir, can I ask you a stupid question?
That depends on how stupid it is.
You're a skilled sniper. You've completed countless missions. And in the process, you've taken countless lives.
Correct. And your point?
After a mission, do you ever think about the people you killed?
Never.
I see. Well, I guess that's the best way, huh? There's no point dwelling on it.
After all the lives you've taken, why worry about it now?
I've got everything packed up. I'm going to head back now.
Oh.
You should head home as well, before it gets too dark.
Alois is dealing with some real
What a
shit right now,
tiresome
isn't he?
man.
There was a lot unsaid there that needs to be unpacked. That's interesting. I might want to see that one play out some more. Aloise, my man. You're dealing with some shit, aren't you? They've got 2 more, so... yeah, I want to see those. And since these 3 are all on the main party, we might get to. The one thing that I'm kind of sad that I keep letting slide is Hanneman and Manuela. It's hard for me to use them, to feel like I can put them in my main party when... I don't know, I feel like I would have to replace other mages in the party, you know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to have too many people who are way too focused on healing, and I can't get, like, I wouldn't feel right, like, pulling Lynn out of main party, because he's part of the house. Like, something that I've been doing with all of the houses is making sure that the people that are a part of that house are main party no matter what, and that's not going to change. So, you know, I usually only have 1 main healer, because there's not a big reason to have 2. Like, when I used Flane and Blue Lions, it was because I made her a dancer. So that gave her a utility that was beyond just healing. But maybe I can do that with Manuela in one of my other playthroughs, is, you know, make sure that she also has some offensive magic, and then she might also be viable in other ways. And Golden Deer, let me think about it. I mean, they've got... Marianne's the healer, right? Who's their mage? Do they have a main mage? I don't know if they really do. Oh, Lysithea, duh. Lysithea is their mage. For some reason, like, I've been thinking of Lysithea as Black Eagle, but she's definitely not. She's a Golden Deer. Yeah. Okay. Alright, we need to look at some certifications now. Ferdinand's ready. Caspar's ready. Let's take a look. So, Ferdinand. We're not doing Great Knight this time. We're going to do Holy Knight, so he's not ready. Caspar, we could try him again. Alright, now we went up from 30 to 50, so he's a little bit closer to being able to do it. So let's save before we do this. Also, I should see how many Master Seals I've got, because I have a limited amount right now. Oh, I've got 6 of them. That's not bad. Okay, he failed again, so let's reload. And let's look at some other ones. Okay, Dorothea, you're not a high priority right now, to be honest, because you're a dancer still. Okay, Petra, Mortal Savant, 48%. Let's give it a shot. She got it. Good job, girl. Magic and resistance going up to its base stats. Nice. I think she mastered hers, right? Did she? No, she didn't. So we'll actually go back to her advanced class for a little bit. I'm just going to do that right now so I don't forget. Otherwise I will, because you know me, my memory is just the worst. Oh my god, she's only 8 away. Next battle, she'll get it, so that's good. So Petra's ready for her next one then. Okay, Sedith. You're not quite ready. Axe and flying. Those are the goals that we have for you, right? I'm just going to check and make sure. I think that it is, so I just want to make sure that we're on track for him. Yep, axe and flying. Okay. He's not far off. He's not far off. Okay, Catherine, you're not ready. So I guess that's it right now. Let's check hers. We could class her. But I don't think I will. Not yet. Not yet. Okay. So let's go ahead and explore. We're going to try and get our party ready a little bit. Now, the question is, do I want to buy some of these supports just to get them out of the way? $400 each, huh? You know, I don't think so. I'm going to save my renown for the next route. The renown might be more useful for me to just save for in my maddening run. And in that one, I maybe... I'm toying with the idea of, you know, maybe when we get close to the end of that pre-time skip, we may buy some at that point. I'm going to play a little bit naturally at the beginning because I don't want to just, like, at the beginning of the thing, buy a bunch of these, have everybody join the house, and then not be able to level them up. I'm going to try and recruit people a little bit naturally in that route at the beginning, for sure. And then when we recruit some people before the time skip, then we can buy some then. And yeah, we'll fill it out. We'll fill it out. I don't really like the idea of using a bunch of renown to do stuff in maddening. Like, I don't plan on in maddening going in and getting a bunch of, like, skill levels and stuff, or class abilities. Yeah, I just don't like the idea of doing that very much. But if it proves to be, like, more than I can handle, then maybe I'll decide to, but I'm definitely not planning on doing that. I don't expect that it'll be too much to handle is what I'm trying to say. But since I haven't, like, I've only done some tests in maddening, and it seems doable, I don't know. There could be some crazy spikes at points that might be trouble for me, but yeah, we'll just have to see, won't we? We'll just have to see. You know, we've got a lot of money right now, don't we? We're pretty flush.
Hey!
Okay.
Okay. So let's see. We need to do the advice box.
Huh?
Nobles must never lose their composure. We must always exude an aura of grace. That said, it is necessary for us to be graceful on the battlefield as well. He'd probably like this the best, I guess. You must maintain your grace at all times. Well, screw you. Once again, it's one of those things where you never know if you're supposed to say what they want to hear or offer them a bit of advice that may change their mind a little bit. It's a bit all over the place in that regard. What is the... So Silver Sword Plus is something we can get. That may not be a bad idea. We've got 10 things we can do today. That tournament might be one of them. All right. Lots of people who need their motivation up. So maybe Aloise. And Bernie. I do want to see that one.
There's no one I'd rather eat with than the Professor and Aloise.
Hear, hear. This old chair keeps creaking. I fear it's on its last legs.
Oh god, Aloise, stop. Stop. Can I just, like, take his meal away from him after that? Bernie had a unique dialogue there, interestingly enough. I wasn't expecting that. Okay. So, what was the interesting? Lysithea and Catherine was interesting. Maybe I should try and do that. Let's try and find a Lysithea Catherine. There it is.
Eating delicious food really takes my worries away.
Eating food always fires me up. Hoorah! Let's go fight somebody!
Yeah, you go, girl. Freaking Catherine, you're great. Okay, what else? Who do we want to work on with Sedith? We can do more Sedith than Leone. Oh, darn, he didn't like that one. There we are.
That looks delicious.
The flavor is nostalgic to me for some reason.
Okay, who's left? We already ate with Aloys. I was gonna say, Shamir and Aloys might be a fun one to work on a little bit here too, but since he already ate, we won't be able to do that here. Let's see. Okay, Ferdinand. Support with Ferdinand is B. Now the question is I wish it told you if like B was their final one. You know what I mean? Because some people only have a B rank. So while this little support info is helpful, it doesn't give you all the information. So Ferdinand and Lynn, let's find out if they have. See, B is their like final one. Let's see. Have we done anything with Caspar yet? I don't think we ate with Caspar yet. So we could do a Lynn and Caspar. Maybe, if we can find one. Okay, we don't have one. Okay, they've already got their A rank. Okay, we could do Ferdinand and Dorothea. Let's do that.
The food here is simple.
Come again?
Okay, Lynn and Shamir don't have one. Let's see, Caspar. They have one. Oh yeah, that one was kind of interesting. Or, no, that was Catherine that I wanted to see. We may have already seen some of this one. I don't remember.
I can eat so much of this stuff. My stomach's growling just thinking about it.
I like seeing a table full of my favorite dishes.
You know, we should do some Flane stuff if we can. Does Lynn and Flane have one? I think the dash means that they do. They just haven't started it, right? Yes. Lynn and Flane, that could be really interesting. We should definitely focus on doing some stuff with Flane, so...
This is my favorite. I am rather happy you went out of your way to pick it, Professor.
This is nearly as delicious as Mother's cooking.
Aw, that's
I
sweet.
would happily eat this every day.
Probably been a really long time since you've had your mother's cooking. Alright, who's left that needs motivation up? So Roth and Petra in main party. Oh, look at that. Do they have a thing together? No, they don't. Petra and Cyril.
I would be liking that greatly.
I've got food to eat and a place to sleep.
Now let's find one for Roth if we can. Roth and Ignatz. We'll get to see that one. Yeah, we'll get to see that one later. Darn, there's nobody left for him. Maybe I won't worry about doing that one and save these three. So what do I want to do with my remaining three? I could do a choir thing and work on supports with somebody else and do some faith stuff, or, you know, one of them I think I am going to do this. A Silver Sword Plus is really nice. Okay, we can do Petra. We could also use Catherine. Let's use Catherine this time. One damage.
Can't hold me
Look at
back.
that hit, man.
All for Lady Rhea.
You know, she's got a pretty
I'll
hefty
never back
HP pool,
down.
too.
Is that all?
Good dodge.
I won't hold back.
No heals. Catherine don't need it.
I won't hold back.
I mean, she is like the person who teaches sword mastery here, so makes sense. It's kind of unfair to have her in the tournament if you really think about it. Good job, girl. Okay. Let's do some training, I suppose. So what do I want to focus on? What do I want to focus on? I guess maybe faith. Yeah, let's do the last two in faith. So Manuela and Lynn are both up here, so let's do it.
Professor? Mach at your... No.
Professor, the promised person I've been... Now that we're all... I'm getting the...
Okay, no new spells. And let's go do some of these last supports. Aloise?
Hello, Professor. What brings you here? Fancy a bit of fishing?
Yes.
You know, I could hardly go fishing without thinking of old Gerald. He and I would just sit here, casting our lines again and again. I'm no better at it now than I was then. Not a single nibble.
Maybe if you were quieter?
Just like your father. You know all the tricks of the fisherman's trade.
Just common sense,
I was
really.
hopeless at it, but he was a master. In the time it took me to catch one fish, he could fill his basket to the brim. You know, talking to you, I'm feeling very nostalgic. Why don't you join me? We can trade some stories about the old man. We spoke before about how Gerald never seemed to age, right? Once, when he was drunk, he let the secret slip. He said he'd had an infusion of crest-bearing blood.
From Rhea.
And it had greatly extended his life.
Crests can make people live longer?
Well, we'd both been drinking. I figured he was joking, so I just laughed it off.
So, riddle me this. If somebody like Lysithea and Edelgard is given 2 crests, can they get an infusion of Rhea's blood or Flane's blood and live a really long time? What do you think?
Then I asked him his age. He said he'd stopped counting after he hit 100. And he was telling the truth. In those 20 years he was away, he didn't age a bit. An incredible person, to be sure. And I probably don't know the half of it. Actually, I'd like to ask you something about Gerald, if you don't mind.
Absolutely, Aloise. But yeah, this this lends credence to what I was saying earlier with Catherine. Like, she's probably going to live a long time. If Rhea took care of her and helped her heal, she may have also infused her with her blood. Now, it's possible that she didn't, and if she didn't, then Catherine will live a normal life, but that's what she did for Gerald when he was going to die, is she healed him with her blood, and I think that it's implied that Catherine may have been given the same. I find that really interesting.
When Gerald was away from the monastery, what was he like?
He did nothing but drink.
In other words, he was exactly the same.
Yeah, he never changed.
When I was his squire, he was always hollering for a drink. He just wouldn't put a cork in it.
Oh God, Aloise.
But on the battlefield, he was unequaled. That's why people used to call him the Blade Breaker. I have to say, right now, fishing with you, it really takes me back. This feels just like the good old days, when Gerald was sitting alongside me.
Okay. Let's go see about this one. Oh, this grid system.
Pardon me.
Linhardt, let's go. What you got for me, buddy?
Ah, yes. Professor, what brings you out so late?
I heard a strange voice.
Oh, that was likely my voice. I've been worrying about something. I asked you once to help me achieve my goal of being a person who can simply nap all day. Then I thought, if the world becomes a peaceful place, all my Crest research might be for naught.
Why's that?
Well, I don't see how crests have much use in times of peace. Certainly there are crests that make you stronger and could be used in engineering. And I suppose crests that increase magical abilities might help doctors heal injuries. Still, the possibilities seem limited. It's as if crests were designed to be used only in times of war. Their power meant to bring about death and destruction.
Maybe you're right.
I cannot prove what I say is true, but suppose for a moment that it is. The longer this war goes on, the more useful my crest research becomes. But if the war were to end today, we would go on living, perhaps not using the power of our crests at all.
But we just heard of Lysithea and Catherine, whose crests might have power beyond the fighting. So, perhaps not. If that proves to be something that is true in some way, perhaps not. Perhaps the crests have other powers as well.
It is truly my dream to be a crest scholar, but I also dream of all the wonderful naps peace would bring. Saying it all out loud, it feels a rather stupid thing to worry over. Knowledge or peace? Sleep or war?
No, it's not stupid.
Thank you, Professor. I appreciate the sentiment. Although if I stop researching crests, I'll have one less excuse to spend time with you. Professor, don't make faces like that. People like you, who listen to my blathering and then nod and smile as though what I say matters, people like you are very precious to me.
What you say does matter, Lynn. Don't be like that. I respect your opinion, friend. Lynn and Flame. This could be interesting.
Now then, where is that book on dance?
Hello, Flame. I'm curious if you could confirm some suspicions I have.
Hello, Linhardt. What is it?
I've recently been lost in study on the topic of Saint Sethlene.
Oh.
You're familiar with her life, yes?
I know a little of her, as do many. But what does this have to do with me?
I think somebody actually told me that I should, do this support. This could be really interesting. Yeah, I think somebody, advised me in a comment. Make sure you do Lynn and Flame.
Interesting that you would ask that. Your question betrays your understanding of my inquiry.
I am quite certain that it does not, as a matter of fact.
I have interviewed several members of the Academy and the Monastery. All agree that you have trouble focusing on detail-oriented work.
Oh.
As I mentioned, I have
can't
been
tell
carefully
somebody that,
researching
their
Saint
face.
Sethlene's history, and I found several intriguing anecdotes concerning her life. Granted, it is not stated explicitly in the texts, but it is easy enough to read between the lines and get to the underlying truth.
Interesting. What do
The
you
authors
got, buddy?
of several tomes, all written within 50 years of Saint Sethlene's passing, imply she found it difficult to maintain focus on detail-oriented tasks.
Several tomes all written within 50 years of Saint Sethlene's passing. Interesting. I should read more books in this library to see if there's more information that, about this, but... So, the saints were considered saints, not necessarily gods, but they are worshipped in a way. Maybe in a similar way to, Catholic saints. But yeah, so there was a point where the saints maybe were considered to have quote-unquote died, but we know that many of them did not. So, interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that the saints were known to have passed at some point in history that people knew about. At which point I'm guessing that people like Seteth and Flayn and Saros just disappeared, you know?
Then, just this morning, as I was studying statues of Saint Sethlene, I came to realize how similar her visage is to your own. Interesting, no?
I do not appreciate your disrespectful approach to this topic.
No disrespect intended, I assure you. Saint Sethlene is a major saint. I only mean to say that looking like her is an honor.
I actually meant that you are being disrespectful to Saint Sethlene.
Which
there
is
was
me,
one
by the
other
way.
item.
You have offended me,
If
is
you
what she's
must.
saying.
You are quite skilled in white magic, yes? My understanding is that you have a very high affinity for the art.
Yes, I do. I am confident in my abilities. I am glad of my abilities, for it is a way in which I am able to help others.
Indeed. Once more an echo of Saint Sethlene. I'm so curious as to why such similarities exist. Her crest? Perhaps hereditary traits then? Or is it possible I am allowing myself to see patterns where there are none?
He's on to
I
you.
am very busy searching for a book.
And to be honest, this probably scares the hell out of her. Because to her mind, she may think that if somebody found out that she may have to go into hiding for a really long time, which is something that clearly Seteth and Flayn have had to do at different points in their life, is just go into hiding and not be around other people. Like, we know that Flayn has basically been sheltered for an insane amount of time, which is kind of sad when you think about it. So, like, I kind of feel bad for her in this instance because she might actually be terrified.
I will be going now.
And she's also a little offended, clearly. I mean, I don't quite see why she feels offended necessarily. I didn't feel like he was being that disrespectful. But, yeah, I don't know. That one will be a fun one. We're definitely going to see more of that. Definitely going to have to explore that one some more. I have to go and look at her statue again. It's this one, right? Yeah. Doesn't show her hair or anything, but funnily enough, I think that her staff does look basically exactly like that one. Huh. Yeah. This one's Seteth, right? Yep. I like how his spear is also an axe, the two things that he's actually pretty good with. Indek and Maquil. Alright. Let's see, is there anything else we need to do? I don't think there is. So I think that might be it for today. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and end the episode right here. Thank you all for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you all next time. Have a good one.